Well, let's talk specs of the X3000 Max. The battery is a 48 volt 20 amp hour Samsung lithium battery. The motors are 2000 watt in total, front and rear dual motors. Electric mode, for range you would get around 55 to 70 kilometers, give or take, if you're only using the accelerator. If you are using the pedal assistance, you would get up to 130 kilometers in range. The charger is brilliant, which is a 48 volt 3 amp hour charger, which is technically a fast charger. The maximum speed is up to 51 kilometers an hour, which I did get on my very first video of the X3000. The weight of this bike is 37 kilograms. The carrying weight is 180 kilograms, and the height it's suitable for is around 170 to 190 centimeters. It does have an LCD color monitor, which is quite detailed, and the actual torque from this is 90 newton meters front and rear, which is absolutely crazy. The frame is made of aluminium alloy with full suspension, which is midpoint and front. It also has aluminium alloy wheels, equipped with 20-inch by 4-inch fat tires. It does have 5 gears as well. It has also 7 Shimano speed gears. I gotta say, I really do love this bike. I've never tested anything like this before on this channel. So if you are really interested in this, there is also a automatic discount code linked below. But before you make a decision, if anything, do watch the video in full. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to say this straight away. I've reviewed many electric bikes on this channel. This is my favourite. It's on top of the list. And I'm going to tell you what I like about this bike, but maybe one or two things that I dislike. But to be honest, it's literally everything you need. What makes the X3000 Max different from all the other bikes I reviewed? Well, it has 1000 watt motor in the front and a 1000 watt motor in the back. You can customize this to only use the front or to only use the back. But of course, if you want to go crazy, you can use, of course, dual motor mode. And on the settings on this bike, you can actually tailor your own acceleration to each gear. So it's actually completely customizable. The torque alone on this bike is absolutely nuts. You would really have to try it to be completely amazed by how much power is actually in this e-bike. The speed on it is absolutely nuts. It's constantly like wheel spinning off the line. The bike has 20-inch by 4-inch fat tires at the back that give you really brilliant traction. It also has as well 7 Shimano gears as well, so you can literally cycle the bike and get the power assistance from it. You can just be lazy and just, use the accelerator if you want, or you can just put it on 0 level, which you can just use as a normal bike. So that means if you actually run out of battery on this X3000 Max, you can just use it as a normal bike and get home safely. That's one of the good things from this. There's no resistance in that case, so you have added peace of mind. Some bikes actually have resistance if you run out of battery. I experienced that on my Fido D4 a long time ago, and it was an absolute headache. So for that reason, it's one of the good features of this. If you want it as well, you can just, remove the battery and charge it at home. But another good feature about the X3000 Max is this. Because the way the bike is actually designed here, now it probably looks big on camera, but it's actually not that big, which makes it a good thing. I have had the Lankeleisi X3000 a while ago. That was, in my opinion, too big. A good bike, but of course it's no match for the X3000 Max. But on this, you can actually collapse the bike in itself. To do this, put your kickstand up, you simply loosen the latch here, and then of course the bike just folds into itself like this, and then you can just easily rest it like this if you have like a bedroom, a small apartment, or you can just put it into the back of your car. Snaps back in place, put your latch back in, and you're good to go. As well, one really good thing is actually this kickstand. It's huge, it's sturdy, it holds the bike up. Some kickstands give like electric scooters or bikes too much of a tilt, but on this here it's actually perfect, so it's not going to fall over. And just, I mean, another good feature about this, take a look at the handlebar design on this. Motorbike style handlebars. Normally I don't like twist throttles, but I think it's because of the style of the handlebar that actually makes it quite comfortable. Really good leather grips. These are actually very good quality. You have your display here, on button. Your screen comes on, obviously. You just let that settle. I did actually, on the first impressions video, show you how to unlock the speed fully on this. So check out that if you want after this. You just cycle through your gears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To put it onto dual motor, you simply hold down the plus button. And then it will go on to dual. As you can see there, hold it back. And if you want, like I said, use the single front motor. Or use the back motor only, wherever you want. But again, completely customizable from acceleration standpoint, wherever you want on each of your gears. Back rack supports up to 25 kilograms, which is really good. Shock absorber is actually really good. It's actually really good, high quality one. It's not like cheap compared to some of the ones that you have. Of course, the front suspension on this is brilliant. There's actually so much travel on this. So because you have a front motor there and you have crazy torque, big huge tires, huge travel on suspension, well, what does this mean? Well, of course it means you can take this off road. Now this bike, it's one of those things where if you take it out for the day, you kind of want to stay riding it all day because of how fun it is. It's not huge. The power is there, the traction is there, the suspension is there, the comfort is there from the handlebars themselves. Twist throttle is good. And another, I mean, I've tested so many electric scooters as well. I've had zoom brakes, I've had nut brakes, I've had like semi-hydraulic brakes. The brakes on this, I'm not familiar with the actual brand of the brakes, but I gotta say, the stopping power on this is phenomenal. And I think one of the reasons is because the brake pads on them are actually quite large, so it gives you kind of peace of mind from stopping power. Just take a look at how big the actual calipers are. Huge, absolutely huge. And of course you do have 180mm rotors as well, with those big huge calipers. I mean, I would love for these to actually be on a lot of high powered electric scooters. They are the best I've ever had. Of course as well, the mudguards on the bikes actually do a really good job. They are like a really good plastic, so they can definitely be cleaned very easily, but they do cover the wheel fairly well, and the front one as well, so you won't get a lot of splashes here. And then of course you have this lip here, so everything can actually drip off. Another good feature about this is actually the motors on the front and on the rear are actually quick release connectors. So if you end up over time needing to change your tires, for example, you'll be able to pop these off, release your connector, change your tire, your tube, whatever the case is. Pressure on these wheels is max 20 psi. I forgot to mention as well, the suspension on this bike is adjustable, so you can have plenty of travel, or you can lock the suspension, or you can just play around with the travel to have as much as you want or as least as you want. If anybody ever saw the Mad Max movies, now I'm a bit of an older person, but a lot of the vehicles in that film are absolutely crazy looking. Crazy headlights, crazy design. Just take a look at this headlight here. I've never actually seen a design like that, and I tell you, it's a really good headlight, and it definitely makes the bike stand out. You of course have a back LED light as well. This bike doesn't come with like indicators or anything fancy like that. At the end of the day, the safety is their fantastic front headlight and then a fantastic rear LED light. Of course, one small thing to keep in mind about the X3000 Max is the weight. You know, it is a little bit on the heavier side, so if you're somebody who struggles to carry heavy things, just kind of keep that in mind. So let's briefly give an overview of what I just said. The portability is there. The bike collapses into itself quite easily. The design of the bike is done really well. The frame is not too large, the tires are not too big, but you have all that power packed into it. Safety aspect, you have those huge 180mm rotors, you have that huge front headlight and that rear LED, so safety is no problem. Comfort standpoint, Of course, you have those really fantastic tires, but you have that big, huge front suspension that has loads of travel, and you have the midpoint suspension as well. So what are you getting for your money on the X3000 Max? Well, you're getting all the features that I just said. And the reason is it's a bit on the higher price scale is because of the spec of this. With the 1000 watt motors, the front, the rear, the crazy torque, the fantastic range, the comfort, handlebar grips, the lights, the collapsible frame, the midpoint suspension, the back rack, the overall quality of the bike is definitely on the top level, and it's the best that I've actually had on the channel. And I don't say that a lot, particularly about e-bikes. But who is it for? It's definitely, in my opinion, because of the crazy power of this e-bike, it's, in my view, not for beginners. Not for somebody going from like A to B that's like 2 or 3 kilometers length. This is for somebody who needs long range, who needs comfort, but it's also for somebody who wants to go out for the whole day with their friends, make them jealous that you have such a bike of crazy spec like this, go off-roading because you have the power there. And there's not a lot of bikes out there within this price point that actually has the power the X3000 has. So if you want something crazy, something you can go out all day on and not have to worry about anything whatsoever, I'd definitely consider the X3000 Max. It is linked below. There's also an automatic discount code there if you decide to get this bike. In the meantime, stay safe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.